Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Season 50! Once again! It's my voice. It hasn't even been 24 hours, to be honest, and they're already listening to me again. Once again, also, shock! We have Aragosta back. This time, they're not playing against the Czechs. Instead, they're playing against Nunya here for the Week 3 matchup. Getting right into it at the very beginning of the week. I'm joined by Ben on the microphone with me, and then Stu is here on production. Ben, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you fed up with casting Aragosta yet at this point? Because it's been 3 games in like 10 days or something that you've casted from Aragosta, and it seems like, I don't know, they're like speedrunning the season. I feel like they might have some like holidays or something later on because they are just playing all their offies at like the earliest possible opportunity. And I guess so far it kind of hasn't really paid off for them. It's not been the greatest results on their end.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing with a lot of mucks. Obviously, last night they had 2. They had Force subbing in for Yuval on Medic. This time around, Yuval will be playing for his team as he's supposed to. Instead of Warped marking for Rochester, they have KN marking for Rochester instead. So it's a bit mean to say it's an upgrade, but we can be honest and say that's probably a bit of an upgrade. I think Warped was doing a pretty good job last night. I think probably, I don't know about you, Ben, but I would tend to rate KN a bit higher than Warped as well.
Yeah, I've not seen much of KN on Roma, but like as like a soldier in general, I think KN's like, I don't know, he's the sort of player you can play around right as a team. You can like build your team around just assuming KN's going to do crazy things, and it normally does happen. I guess it's kind of weird they're coming in as a merc to do that, but it's potential, right? It's potentially the firepower they're looking for in terms of that.
Yeah, they are going up against Nunya, who on paper look pretty solid. So you covered a Nunya game week 1. Where they played against Shirachi, a very, very close game. But there they had Yilin playing pocket. There is no Yilin pocket this time around. We've got Amp T subbing in instead. More than competent, I think, on Soldier. Especially because Yilin is old and he's washed, surely. But besides that, right, it's a lot of very familiar names. Loopy on Scout alongside Boxy. Coming back maybe a little bit. It's Gigi coming in on Soldier as well. Rat Slayer demo. Been a while since we've seen that one. And then Condog is back on Medic as well. What else could he play?
Yeah, it's honestly quite an exciting team, right? In terms of like a lot of names coming back from years gone by, and I feel like they're gonna be. It's one of those teams where I feel like as the season goes on, and they're more used to like playing Prem again, because it's been a fair few years for most of these players since they last had their like previous Prem season. I feel they're gonna get gradually better and gradually sort of ease into things, and I've got to say, even on their week 1 offie, like I think they still look pretty good. Took a 4-2 win in terms of points over the Czechs, and the Czechs, well, they had a pretty good romp last night, especially on the second map up against the foes over on Aragosta. So I think Nunya probably coming in as favourites. Maybe that's not too controversial of a take, but I am excited to see some of these players back in the server, to be honest.
Yeah, this is old generation Unk still got it territory versus the young Zoomers who are trying to take it to the big man. They weren't really successful so far. I think Aragosta, to be honest, there have been some really shining lights. I want to talk a bit more about Mackie, because I think I've casted every single game we've covered essentially so far. And every single game I've been watching Aragosta, and every single game I've been seeing Mackie do a lot of really impressive stuff on the Soldier. I think he's really stepping up. He's been really good on this team, and I think another player to really look out for as well is Juxta. Been providing a lot of just very solid scout gameplay for this team as well. They sort of feel like the rocks for this team of otherwise sort of very new players, right? Raven, American mystery person, not quite sure.
Yeah, they've had a fair few seasons of invite over in RGL, but I don't know, 100 ping, like, it's never nice, right? Like, it's never good.
Well, that being in mind, Ben, you have like 20 seconds during the rollout to tell me who's going to win, but you have to give me a scoreline.
I'm going to go 4-1 for Nunya. As you mean, not close.
There you have it. I think I tend to agree. This is a bit of a stacked Nunya roster, to be completely honest. I have to see how able they are to take it to Aragosta. We're rolling onto Gullywash here for week number 3 of ETF2L Season 50 AFS. I'm not going to read the abbreviation of what that means, but Mackie early on finding kill there onto GG's. The middle starts up. There's Loopy sitting across onto that nibble, but as Aragosta getting very aggressive, and Nunya are just nowhere near anywhere as everyone falls. The collapse comes in through choke. Condog tries to get out, might actually do it successfully. Boxy with a nice little shot there. He's going to have to keep his medic alive, get so many players. Shucks are really fancying himself. Bit of German boy.
Yeah, they're going to have
They're
to
not healing.
maybe stall this one out. Davey went very aggressive there, bombing onto the shutter, trying to catch that medic of Condog, but there's nice shots there from Juxta, keeping that medic alive and getting a focus the demo, which has like forced them back a little bit. Second point may well be getting capped, or maybe not actually, because the Uber trade comes in. Condog and Voxy up at the top here with Gigi trading out these Ubers. Mackie is going to be the last one up, but Juxta getting dropped in it, and actually Condog falling at the tail end. Some great rockets again from Mackie, who has had a pretty outstanding first 80 seconds of this map.
Yeah, Mackie really taking it to Nunya, and once again just proving, I think he's been such a solid, outstanding member for the team. Seems to be one of the only few sort of shining lights for them in the matchup against Shirachi last night, and he really was keeping them in the game all the time, finding these miraculous medic picks. Once again, that pick onto Condog now, it's about 30 advantage, which is not the end of the world for Nunya by any means. Should be able to delay this at least a little bit. Voxy loves himself a bit of a last hold.
Condog crits though, is the Condog post-Uber crits, as we usually expect from Condog, so maybe there could be some laser beams, and it's going to be built in time, I think, 70% on this Uber already from Condog. I think there might be some laser beams coming up in the post.
We'll have to see, as the Uber now comes in. It's actually already 50% gone down. Is GG in low, as the Sentry Gun now taken down as well, but is a Nunya special with the crits heavy coming right out. It's Ratslayer dying though. This is a Scout just on the point. It is going to be a heavy finally stepping onto his Loopy. Does deal a lot of damage, but he's spent just trying to get the soldier up. It's only Davey left alive, as Yuvo is nowhere near his demo man. That crit's just barely enough. That was really, really close.
Yeah, a sliver of health on Voxy as well when the reflect kill comes in over onto Mackie. That was very, very close to being a first round over towards the blue side there from Aragosta. Good attempt in the push, and honestly, like, I think they dealt with the crits reasonably well on the attack. Not too many people were getting caught out. It just bought so much time because everyone was cowering away. No one could look the heavy in the eye during that entire crits because they didn't want laser beams in their faces, and now it's going to be back to even Ubers. Condog swapping back to the regular Medigun. Wants to play this a bit more stock standard, knowing that they're going to have time to build it up to full. Yuval also just had to back out very, very deep. Wasn't building perfectly, so there's not like any sort of 20-30 ad to speak of here. So it's going to slow down. We'll see. Actually, never mind. No, it's not, because they've pushed it with Uber ads, but it's not really ad at all. Condog's going to get.
Yeah, he can just pop this straight away as the Scout just on the point. Is dealt with Ratslayer once again though. Falls, and that means there's not a lot of point presence. 2 down though. Raven and Mackie both falling in that fight means that at least for now, Aragosta are going to back out. They get the trade, but that's kind of just it, right? Down means that you can pressure this point further. 2 down on your side, you have to sit back. That's Raven coming up on a sniper instead to try and respond.
Yeah, I like the idea from Yuval. I just think with that that quick Uber, knowing that Condog's going to have to swap off onto the regular Medigun, it's just they weren't building well enough in that post fight. It was just Med and Demo walking out of lobby, and I think the beam was disconnected for a bit during the crits as well. So the ad was nowhere near as much as Yuval anticipated. But honestly, I like the fact they get out with some of their players and they manage to fight this, because now they get this even Uber situation where they've already done a decent amount of cap time, but they have lost 3 players for it. Davey falling as well, and oh dear indeed.
That's just such a big overcommit there from Davey. You can kind of lose your Scout and your Soldier down, it's fine, but that gives Ampty a perfect loop in behind. Single rocket on the Yuval means they have to force, and that means that now everyone just kind of falls over, right? They're going to get this cap onto second. There's no one in behind on last, and this is a disaster here for the side of Aragosta. Again, Davey just gets so much damage taken, and Voxy can run this through with an Uber charge in onto the enemy combo. Raven cannot block anything. I think they could just keep rolling this, should they please?
How does Yuval realistically get out here other than just back spawning in the forward spawn? I think it's going to be very, very rough for him to get out here. GG already looking out the shutter, and never mind actually, because Kayan just comes in and deletes Condog. That makes things a bit easier, I guess.
That's such a classic Condog play where he's just in front of his pocket scout for no reason. As Voxy's sitting in behind, watching Condog run forwards, and that means, with the meta going down, suddenly Nunya are wiped, and everything's okay. They do manage to come in and get the kill into Yuval, not the end of the world, for the side of for Nunya rather, who now have Condog up on a sniper.
No, wait, this better not get anything, please.
I mean, yeah, all of his players are going to come up at the same time. He can't build an Uber anyway, might as well.
I like the idea, you know, maybe catch that one shot while the small wave is there, but nobody going to be peeking too aggressively there into the second point, as it's just going to be a bit of a brawl here over towards second. it seems like Nunya are managing to get some amount of space. That kill onto Davey is going to be massive. And the big bomb from Ampty, massive, huge amounts of damage there. Rockets landing all over the place on that low ground behind the point. But Raven and Juxta trying to get in. Wait a second, the scouts are going
Oh my god! They are just destroying Bucks and Juxta, following up and what? That's a crunch and a half, dude. The blue scouts just unlock, and that means Nunya now all down. They're on the last point already. They should be at least. But Loopy now finding a bit of shots onto Juxta as well, and he gets cleaned up. So, Nunya, only 30 discount here. Not too bad.
It just, the players couldn't get in quickly enough. There was a couple of spawners coming up there from Aragosta. They couldn't quite get themselves in position in time, and now you know what they're like. They're feeling themselves in. They're already trying to take some space over towards second. That's going to be turned around instantly. As lose not one but two players pushing out. Ampty going to be a late death as well. And now 6v4. Yes, it's only 30 ad, but this ad is coming up very soon for Yuval, and there's two players down in the defense.
You kind of have to feel for them, right? You have one shot to going in and getting that medic down before the Uber can come out and sort of run it straight in onto the enemy point as Ratslayer once again falls. GG falling alongside it now, just up to the Pyro and the Heavy of Loopy to keep hold of at this point as a singular soldier can sit behind and try and desperately hold on. But this is now a lot of pressure coming in. Actually, Condor just barely managing to get the Zuber up in time. It's GG falling now as well, coming back up alongside Ratslayer. But this is Davey in, uncontested. A lot of damage dealt, but he's so far forward. The rest of his team not in there. Juxta 22 HP and has to clean this up. With KN, Raven supporting him, this is a messy, messy last fight. And it goes on for very, very long. But ultimately, it just is Aragosta locking in and taking that 1-0.
Not exactly as Aragosta probably envisioned that one would go when they used in, but I think they dealt with the chaos very, very well. There were spawners coming in, the Uber came up as well. They just caught the Heavy. Like, I think Condor was at 99% when that Heavy drops. If that Heavy gets Ubered, I think that's pushed over. But it was great focus fire from Aragosta, and honestly, great kiting around at the end, and they capped it in just enough time because the next wave of spawners was about to arrive. On this mid fight, never mind. Ampty's straight the pickaxe in onto Davey. Alright, never mind. No demo for you on this mid.
Yeah, that's the mid-fight over right there, dude. Ampty just absolutely runs him, and he's still in behind. You have to be so careful now as Aragosta can use the fact that there's just so many players all around. The GG bombing in now as well. But look
they
at
all
the
die.
crunch from Mackie and KN. Everyone falls, and Nunya somehow, someway managed to find a way to turn a very winning play into absolute disaster.
Yeah, demo down, I like that they're going for it. I like they're going for something there, but they just get mulched. The synchronization there from Aragosta was fantastic, and the damage in choke, it was just people laid out across the entire place. It was not pretty at all on that push in with Condor getting caught. Ratslayer getting caught on second as well. We've got crits getting built up from Condor, and this is looking at pretty darn good. 15 seconds on this respawner as well on Ratslayer on the demo, so no stickies and shutter. They can even think about maybe milking in for a little bit on this right hand side. They're going to do just that. They're milking the shutter already, gun getting spammed, and there's no demo in sight yet.
Yeah, there's no demo around, no stickies on the point. It means you can't just play this so aggressively. Everyone's stuffed in this spawn as the Pyro has to do so much work. Uber now comes out from Yuval, and they are going to find a kill into GG as well. As finally, Lower has been won and secured by Aragosta, but this Pyro is doing a lot of work. You have to watch out for the crit. He's sticky, just coming in with the laser beams there is Foxtech, and he's kind of clearing up everything. 3 up for both sides, point half capped. But this is successful here. 1 scout and Lower. Juxta, not going to win the 1v1.
Good effort. I just think I'm honestly shocked there that Aragosta don't manage to convert that, because there's no stickies anyway. Look how far they got in before they even had to use. They're practically locking out spawn already before the Uber got popped off. They just couldn't get enough cap time through it. Eventually, yeah, the crits comes out and they just about hang on for dear life again on Nunya, but that's kind of been the tale of the game so far. It's been Nunya sort of clinging on for dear life in these last holds, and 1 round down, maybe they're looking for a bit more of a turnaround at come fourth the rest of this game, but currently, even if it was on their own second, that's not really a position where you can build too much momentum, because it's going to be on the Aragosta side to try and sack in. Never mind, Condog is still on crits. This could be getting a bit dicey. Yeah, this is a bit scary now, right? The Uber can just come straight in and they find so many kills. This Chris is going to come out onto a scout and do no damage at all. A singular kill on Mackie's. All they're going to find is Davey does fall as well, but just GG and Loopy left. This point is already capped. You can see the Aragosta aggression coming into lobby.
GG now is going to find himself a lot of damage here onto the balcony. He does manage to get the kill onto Juxta, and he might have just dissuaded them for a little bit. Spawners coming out for Nunya, but there's a lot of damage here dealt as KN could just bomb in, and Aragosta are up 2-0.
The crits there was, I guess they would have been a big disset anyway if they sort of front the Medigun, but crits into Uber, it never ends pretty. And that time it certainly wasn't pretty at all. The crits got next to nothing. And again, Aragosta just really on a roll. Like, honestly, where has this Aragosta team been? Like the last two offers that we've seen from them, they've really turned it around this first 11 minutes of this game, and long may it continue, at least in terms of their sake. They have looked very good, but their mid-fight last time, Davey got caught instantly. This time, might need to be more careful, but they've already found an early frag onto Luby. Voxy very weak as well. And never mind, Aragosta looking very, very well posed here to take another mid-fight.
Just the mid-fight is just completely dead in the water for the side of Nunya. They cannot do anything. It's now Mackie actually with a really nice ramp in through River as well. No one's with Kondok. He just bombs straight in, and now Kondok in such a bad situation. And it's such a late catch out now. Look at the spawners coming in. They don't have heals at all, and this is a scary, scary fight for Nunya. Aragosta have to watch out that they don't overextend too much, and Voxy is in behind and ready to take the 1v1 with the capping scout onto Raven, but he cannot take the victory. Instead, it's an all-out brawl on last with Amty the only survivor for Nunya, and they blink and they lose another round down 3-0 in a matchup where we think they should be so favored.
This is why, like, I should just never be allowed to predict things, right? Like, I had 4-1 to Nunya. It's gonna be a breeze, gonna be chill for them. But no, like, honestly, this is an entirely different team to Aragosta to what I've seen these previous couple of weeks. Just the phenomenal speed and coordination they've got, and again they're locking out Spawn for so long, and the soldiers Mackie again getting in and getting that all important kill onto Kondog that allows it all to spin into motion. Really nice work once more.
Back onto middle, this time around it's a Rat Slayer bully zone as he immediately is taken down by Mackie. Does Amty want better? It's GG falling, and look at him with a wraparound as well. A lot of damage onto the combo there. It's going to open the door for the rest of Aragosta to be able to sneak all the way in through second, and Nunya nowhere near any sort of high ground positioning to be able to deal with this fight that effectively. Look at the Davey pipe from outside of the server. Finds that kill onto Kondok, and this is an absolute disaster for Nunya once again.
It is collapsing at the seams. They have to change something. These mid-fights, they're getting a bit erratic. They've lost their demo instantly. Now they've got GG up on Spy, up in top river, trying to go for something. Dishad Spy can be great, can just be your player down on last. Will he get the stab? Never mind. It is working to perfection. GG gets the stab onto Yuval, and that might just end the push there and then.
I mean, okay, there's a heavy up. This is... The bit of cope is that you can maybe try to go for some kind of a point pressure into a sack play, but this heavy does so much work in denying everything, right? You see kind of where Nunya are playing, but they're looking to push this through River. Kondok and River, man. He loves that stuff. Apty traded across by KN as well as kind of sack soldiers for free, but here now, Kondok, you have to know, right? This is a 50 ad. You can just play this nice and slow. No reason to go in and die. They're taking this fight, man. I'm so surprised.
These can be quite dodgy. They can go wrong, and we've seen them go wrong before. But it seems that now that Aragosta are respecting it, they're 3 rounds up. They don't have to squeeze out every tiny advantage they might have positionally, and try and really, like, you know, make it hard and tough in these situations. So they, you know what, we're just going to push all the way back. We're going to sit on our own mid and play at this slight disset. But they are going to get used into here early. Damage from Amty and Voxy as the Uber comes across the point, but it's not going to catch anyone else. 1 soldier dead. I think they're pretty happy with that over on the Aragosta side, because they now have an Uber of their own, and they can look to start walking this one back into mid as we get into flip-flop territory.
Yep, now it is a situation where both teams are going to pop Uber into each other and hope that they maybe find the enemy medic. It's Voxy going down already, but now Davies in onto Kondok. There's no one there really to support him, but he is hitting pipes on the rest of the combo. A lot of damage dealt, but there's just no blue players to be able to support him at all. Mackie goes in to kill onto GG onto Loopy, but they're still on mid, the rest of the team, and they're fine. And now Kondok, he has a bit of an advantage, but does he have a player ad? Dude, somehow, someway, Aragosta looking to fight this on mid, but Kondok just gets sniped down by KN, who bums across, and the HP for Nunya no longer there. Aragosta keep finding these kills on a Kondok, and it's spelling disaster here for Nunya.
That was a crazy 2 rockets there, by the way, from KN. It wasn't like air shots or anything. It was just 2 really nice, crisp directs. Kondok in chat is a bit confused as to what happened. It was really nice work, and it just caught them out of whack completely. Now again, we are in incredibly familiar scenario this game. It's full advantage for Yuval and for the Aragosta side. Conduct building up crits. This time, actually a fair bit behind on the crits building. Maybe there's a world this Uber could come in quickly enough, and the pressure can come forward already onto the gun. Uber used as the gun is taken down, so it's going to be a nice long Uber that they can end on this top left. Still 90% on these crits from Condog, but it's Jux the first to fall, traded that for Ampty, and now the crits, they are finally up and out as Loopy with the laser beams is smiting down everyone except Mackie, who's currently waiting in spawn, and surely not long for this world. Going to try and bomb in. There's not much you're doing there, mate. Into the pyro, into everyone else. And again, tooth and nail stuff here from Nunya, but they somehow live on. Even though they are 3-0 down, they're still fighting. They're still battling to get back into this game.
Aragosta yet to really sort of find a comprehensive answer to this Condor crit streak on last. As it is doing slightly enough. You can see them knowing that because the enemy team doesn't have an Uber, you don't have to pop right away, but doesn't matter! Because Davies found 2 to kill the Rat Slayer and Condog, and now suddenly, once again, the combo for Nunya absolutely crumbles on mid. It's one Loopy with a flank trying to come in and get the enemy combo, but he just falls. Gigi bombing in as well. You cannot get the kill on Yuval, and that means that Nunya, advantageous position, go in onto enemy second and get completely wiped, and now they're stuck back on the last again.
This is like kind of weird though, honestly, on this last, because KN is on Sniper. Because he was expecting, you know, Disad mid, maybe has to go and find some cheeky angle, find a nice little shot. We know he's capable of doing it, but now being a soldier down onto Gullywash last, maybe not ideal. But with this much advantage, it may well just not matter. I believe it's been spotted out. It's definitely been spotted out now as he's taken so much damage in Lobby getting chased down, and it's actually, never mind, everyone is dying in Lobby. Sniper comes out from KN, maybe getting something onto Condog, maybe going to repeat in as well. Juxta tries. But
no,
cannot do it. Mackie, though. No way, Mackie. No way, the pain train.
What
the pain train, man.
What am I watching? I'm so confused. Are we in America?
What was that fight in Lobby?
Am I watching an RGL game? Like, what's going on? I feel like I'm being mind controlled and watching the wrong region. This isn't how Europe plays. What's happening?
The crazy brawl in Lobby with there's snipers, there's scouts running around like crazy, and yeah, everyone just... I'm assuming the soldiers got in from River and just, you know, pickaxe out, or, plank of wood with nail out, and he's back to the mid-fight. Another mid-fight. This time is Davey, the first one to fall. So we saw before, Nunya were able to sort of easily sweep across and maybe start a push to second. This time around though, actually it's looking even better because they've caught 2 more frags and point getting capped up. Everyone else on the blue Aragosta side all the way back. They're retreating, they're on their own last point, and for the first time in what feels like quite a long time, we are actually on the blue half of the map, and Nunya might be looking to squeeze something into last, but maybe even Ubers gonna see if they can get something going, but it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, they have to just keep it going, right? There's only 11.5 minutes left on the map. If you want to at least tie this up, this is about a round every 2 minutes, at least. If you want to sort of take in regulation, right? Even if you want to push it to a golden cap, you have to go in. This is Condor popping in the Uber onto the scout, and they are going to just lose the demo man. The Uber push comes in, finds no further kills. It's just one soldier, very aggressive, into Lobby, but he doesn't fall down. Instead, we're back.
What's happening in water?
Of our money to the Nunya.
What is this in water? There's a spy and a scout coming up.
Yeah.
The scout is fed. This is the play, right?
They never expect him, because now they're going to kill this guy hiding, right? So they're like, oh, it's fine. And then Gigi comes in with the banger play.
The league. If this works, there's the end.
Oh, no!
What? Trick stab!
Huh? I need a replay on that. That's I need Gabe Newell in the chat for that one. That was crazy. Okay, the cope there is Ravens on 100 ping, so there's some weird like interp stuff, but there's no way that's a backstab.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, okay, it's not the end of the world. I mean, Nunya looking to go in again, and they actually managed to get the sentry gun right because Raven falls. Now Ampty, however, falling as well. But this was... I don't even know if it's an Uber ad, dude. Nunya just also just kind of fighting.
Honestly, mate, I'm lost.
Well, they're all dead. It's spent. They died. What's going on?
I don't know, the lobby, there's fights happening in Lobby, there's people dying in River, there's a spy doing crazy
why is Davies fighting this? Well, come on.
They're pushing out massive damage just to Luke. Kondo gets forced as well. It's a better Uber for the side of Aragosta, should they choose to take it. They do decide to trade out. They want to cap second up. Maki going to find that kill up on River, up onto Ampati. There's some amount of a back cap attempt happening with Voxy and Gigi, but I don't think it's fast enough. Nice air shot there from KN.
Oh my god!
Oh, great work.
I don't know what to do, man. I need this map to end so I can have a mental reset. I'm so like, things keep happening that are cool, but then things that are dumb happen, and then they kind of keep going backwards and forwards, and it's just kind of like blowing up my brain cells.
Sometimes
I don't know what to
even
do.
at the same time, man, like, you know? Right, pushing into second, Uber ad for Yuval, but Yuval does not have yet. Gigi is on heavy on forward spawn. Are we going to see like the forward spawn walkout? Was it? It was Ixie who did that over in America. This time it just looks like it's going to be a peek out from the shush, the more stock standard way of doing it. Might be taking a lot of spam and is going to go down. But Kondog and Voxy might be in a bit of trouble here, getting pinced out from behind. One rocket from Maki lands nicely onto Kondog, but Kondog is going to be living for the time being, but maybe not for much longer. The Uber-charge comes out. Raven jumps to the double scout chariot, walking onto this point. Maybe going to find some of these soldiers who are looking rather dangerous, low on health. Kondog nowhere near getting an Uber-charge, and never mind now, because KN has landed that last rocket. And actually, though, they're somehow stabilizing here. On the Nunya side, they managed to do enough damage, managed to find those two important frags, and are able to sort of hang on their own last. We are in garbage time at this point, let it be known, so it's not the situation they want to be in here over on Nunya. They're sort of pins it back, but they're on the crits as well. Like, yeah, it's... Oh, they're walking out with it. Oh, you take this one.
Nunya can still win. Here's how. They just win a round right now, then they win another 2, and it's fine. Or another 3, rather. I can't count. But anyway, it's just Davey just in on River, by the way. So much damage. Ampty tries to go for a bit of a sack play because Yuval has massive advantage. But instead, Davey's just going to play with his food up in River. Just completely uncontested by the scout. Pucksec is still in. The Pyro running forwards. GG almost dying as well. But this Pyro should just completely shut down the push. And now massive advantage. Everyone on Nunya falling as the Uber comes out. And Kondog is on like 70% crits. But he's not on the point. Instead, it's Raven then gets demolished by an Ampty rocket. And I think somehow, maybe, some way, we are still in this game as Maki now goes in for the 1v5, does not win it. And yeah, we keep playing.
I love garbage time, man. It brings out the best in teams. It brings out the absolute best, and it's currently bringing out a KN sniper who's going to peek out over towards Big Dog, catch the frag over onto Gigi. Going to look for more as well as he peeks back around. Gonna try and get something else working here. Maybe onto Loopy. No, misses that second shot as there is a lot of explosions happening towards Choke.
We just lost like 2 players in Choke as KN has a really nice angle onto Kondog. Hasn't watched out, but unfortunately he's too busy looking at the angle that is not right in front of his face. So Loopy can just go in, 2-shot him, and suddenly Nunya maybe finally have an open door into the enemy second without getting wiped. This time for sure.
Surely.
But they don't have Uber. This is a crit. So they can just get one shot by Maki up on top. Okay, never mind. He shot back.
Crit stickies are out, and they have done a little bit. 1 kill onto Juxter is something. Maybe a chance to cut off Yuval, who takes a lot of damage but is able to escape. And escape with Uber charge intact as well. That's absolutely massive for the defense from the Aragosta side. And as we say, it might not matter. 4-0 down. 6 minutes to play. I guess here's how we might be seeing it now. We're going to have Ampty bombing in. Big force. Never mind, not even a force. It's a drop. No respect at all there from Yuval. Decides to just, hang on to it. And does drop out the Uber to a really nice bomb there from Ampty. But it still crits on Kondog, right? Like, what does this even mean?
This is a good philosophical question for you to ask, Ben. And I'm not quite sure if I have an answer for you. Like, maybe
crits
he'll do
into last?
something.
Does it even, like, this isn't necessarily a win.
It looks like he wants to pop it on a scout too, which is crazy, because Juxta's now up on Spy. Yeah, here's the thing.
It's the crits counter.
Here's the thing, right? Like, if you're Nunya, you just need to get back into it, go map 2, because you cannot win map 1 anymore. You need a mental reset. I need a mental reset, so we could just use this dead time to just kind of explore our feelings, and how we're gonna, do better next time. As this crits comes in and it works, and it's no longer a 5-0 roll. We get around. Everyone's happy. Nunya.
I did say 4-1 in my prediction.
You did say 4-1. That's true.
The other 4-1, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, for my prediction.
Did you see that there's a guy who actually got a platinum coin for the major, by the way?
How?
Actually, or it's a diamond rather, the diamond coin.
Was it one of those like when they get like the octopus to like pick the result every time or something, and it's like
No, it's the
because like
it's
no
the
person
main
predicts those results, right? Like
the main producer for
Really?
the show
That's
got
crazy.
a diamond coin, which all that
Wow.
tells me is that CS is scripted.
that is true. Actually, there's a conspiracy there, surely.
Yes. There's a guy in chat complaining about the casters. I want you to know that at this point, the thing on your screen is happening, and it's kind of like a screensaver. No, like Nunya can no longer win. This is fully dead time, and I can talk about whatever I want. Try to stop me.
The anti-Twitch chat warrior. We love you, man. We love you. There is still a game kind of happening, but it's getting a bit weird. It's getting very weird, actually. We've got a spy up. We've got, you know, full advantage for Aragosta. We've got some attempts at maybe ending this one quickly, 5-1. But, you know, second point getting capped up. GG on spy again. Had good impact last time, but like we said, nothing matters. 3 minutes left, 4-1. Not going to get 3 rounds in this time.
This spy, I like it because sometimes you just don't want to play soldier anymore. You know what I mean?
That's true. On Dissad as well, like, he's kind of boring, right? You're just like taking damage, jumping around,
if they
you know?
cap the point and win the round, we just go next map and it's fine, right? Like, yeah, okay, there we go. The dead time's over, guys. You're free. We're free.
Twitch chat, rejoice.
We win. Okay, that's Aragosta with a, I'm not gonna lie, bit of a surprising upset. They played like night and day. But I don't know what they did
actually, like,
after
I
their
don't know,
game
someone's
yesterday,
like-
but they
yeah.
so much better.
Yeah, they have certainly switched up something in their routine or something to pull out that result, right? Like it's obviously like I don't think it was Nunya made a few mistakes, right? But like compared to the game we saw yesterday against the Czechs and especially that week 1 game as well, like it's a completely different side. And like some of these players stepping up, these scouts, man, like maybe Raven's getting more used to the 100 ping, but this guy can hit shots.
Yeah, no, dude. Okay, I want to say it again. We're going to continue. Mackie was so good this game. I really feel like this is like one of the guys where like you really need to keep an eye on this guy. Obviously, like this is a bit of a shortened season, sort of not the top teams that we were used to seeing last season, but there's still like this is such a good opportunity for a team like Aragosta, right, with a bunch of new names to come in and really sort of show their worth. And I think especially for guys like Mackie, if he continues playing, I really like what I'm seeing so far. I think
This
surely the only way is up.
Is this season a Prem debut for Mackie?
Yes.
I believe it is. I believe they played for Empreglodons, right, when they won D2, and they had like a air season last season in Div 1. But
Yep.
there's someone coming in. Like it's a
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good play. I've been very impressed.
Yeah, he's playing super, super well. You know, sometimes we get, you get new soldiers in Prem, and they're either like, they're usually one of two things of really good mechanically, and just kind of, you can tell that they don't really stand the correct places. Or it's the opposite, right? Where they stand the correct places, but they don't quite have the aim there. But Mackie kind of seems like a player who already kind of has both, right? The DM is there, and he's sitting the correct spots. He's playing really smartly as well. He's catching the enemy team off guard in places where they're not expecting him, and it's looking super, super good for him. Really driving his team forwards. Bit of a shout out to Ken as well, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Like, you know, obviously it's a merc, right? But when your soldier top DPMs the whole server and gets 30
Ooh.
frags.
Yeah. Yeah, it did drop
That's-
373 DPM.
Yeah, that's kind of illegal, right? Like, that's Kane was playing crazy out of his mind. It was, I guess, Gullywash is, if you're gonna have two soldiers pop off, Gullywash is the map to do it. But yeah, KN had a fantastic one.
I'm really excited to see what happens now. Map number 2, which is a map that I'm going to be told in my ear right now.
It's Metalworks.
Metalworks.
I can tell you, we're on the servers of Metalworks. So unless they're like trolling us and they're going to change last minute, but I think it's Metalworks.
We're actually going to play Bagel now. Surprise. No. Okay, here's the thing. Given what we have just seen, Ben, do we have hope that Nunya... Like, okay, it's so hard to look at this Nunya team and not look at the names on your screen and be like, surely they should just know how to play Metalworks and be better. But are they gonna be? I'm not gonna lie, like just the way that they're playing so chaotic. I'm really just getting caught out by Aragosta a lot. Like I don't have very much faith in them to win here, Ben.
I think I was saying before about like soldier maps, right? Like I think Metalworks is also another very strong soldier map, and I think Kayan and Maki could be a duo too far. I think they quite comfortably diffed GG and Empty that first map, which is a weird thing to say, but I think it genuinely was a bit of a soldier diff. But coming in second map, you know, anything can happen, right? They've obviously had messed around in garbage time for a bit. They're going for some kind of reset. They're going to be doing a bit of a team talk, getting themselves in the best frame of mind they can over on Nunya. But I don't know, this Aragosta team, they're coming good. Maybe not. I guess it's the midway point of the season for them now. Like it's maybe not too late, but like they are certainly showing that they can have a go at turning this around and turning it into a good season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's also if you're gonna get experience, you're gonna get experience right now, right? In a season that's a little bit slower, where maybe teams aren't taking it as seriously. Maybe that's the Nunya cope of like, trying, but surely okay. I know some of these guys in the enemy team, like on Nunya, right? You lose like that, then you're gonna be a bit angry. You're gonna be trying to win.
Yeah, that's true. There's I guess there wasn't as much as the previous Nunya game that I saw against the Czechs, but there was a bit of typing in chat. It wasn't anywhere near as much as before. Like last time, I think Kondog and Lucas had a bit of a rivalry, and there was a lot of the question mark spam, things like that. Getting trying to get in each other's minds, but it's not about getting in each other's minds now. It's about getting rounds on the board, which is something that Nunya did struggle to do on the first map of Gullywash with their 5-1 loss. But this time it's Metalworks. This time their stars are fresh at 0-0. Can they bounce back, or will Aragosta continue their upwards trajectory and take this week with all 6 points?
Momentum squarely in the favour of Aragosta at the moment. We're back onto mid. Davey finding very early damage onto Lupe. He just ends up beating it as he goes down already. Now it's actually a pretty low enemy demo man, as it is just Kondog falling immediately at the start of the mid, and that means it's a complete collapse for Aragosta. They do lose Yuval though, so Nunya some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, but this is so much positioning that Aragosta can now take.
It absolutely is. GG took it personally, by the way. When I say they got soldier diff, GG comes in with a fantastic bomb to salvage there onto Yuval in the background, and just managed to keep them in not an instant lose position on this at last, because now medics will spawn in the same amount of time. Of course, midpoint and second will fall due to all 5 combat classes of Aragosta surviving that mid fight. But this is where things, in theory, should slow down. I don't want to say it too decisively. Last time I said that last map, it didn't, and it doesn't look like it's going to, because they're fighting lobby already. And wait a second, 2 players from Aragosta have already died.
Yeah, that is a bit disastrous. He's just trying to push in and take so much space, and now Nunya can maybe look to come out, but it's KM finding 1 kill onto GG, but it's still just the rest of Aragosta forced to walk back onto middle here, and now Nunya with a bit of a player advantage. Are they going to be looking to push in here? Do have a slight opportunity, but you have to be careful. It's only 1 player advantage, at least for now, right?
Yeah, they're thinking about trying to go for something here. Maki going to land in onto Kondog. And it's just, again, Kondog getting caught in these situations. And there's going to be an attempt at a salvage here all the way through. The Scout's going to run an aggro. Foxy and Lupe with the unenviable job there of trying to get something running into all these players. And yeah, Lupe decides to run away, and actually is a late death on the escape. Ratslayer might be going down late too. And this is collapsing at the seams for Nunya. It was looking so good, but just the timings out of these choke points, it's all over the place. The pacing and the spacing just is not there.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, right? They try to go in, they think they have this player advantage, but by the time they get there, they're just in a horrible position. Aragosta have so much better positioning. They just send in that Maki bomb straight onto Kondog. He has nowhere to go because he unfortunately leaves that house a little bit too early. This time around, though, on last, it's Davey falling a little bit too early. Instead, forced once again to rely on KN, who's finding so many frags in onto lower, and Juxta can just run in front of that heavy and get that point captured. Aragosta up 1-0 once again.
I did not think that was going to work. Like, KN coming up underneath is just enough to split Vox's attention from the point and from the soldier shooting him in the back. I actually thought they were going to hold on there. I really thought, and I think actually if Ratslayer can, like, obviously he's just spawning up, if he can get onto the point in time and block that just in time, I think the heavy demo combo might just be enough to hang on. But that's not the world where we're currently living, because the world we are currently living in, it's already 1-0, and the momentum continues for Aragosta. A lightning fast round coming in already. And now a bit of aggression under the point from both of these scouts over on the red Nunya side. Going to try and get some poke damage early, But this has been a bit of a slower start until the soldiers come in. Gigi going to trade up 1-for-1 with Davey. Very nice start for him. Yuval forced all the way back on low HP. Going to try and go for the pack if he's given the time to do so. But in the meantime, Aragosta have come in and cleaned up everyone.
They send so many players in onto Nunya, right? And they really just try so hard to get it onto Davey, getting that frag onto him, but in the meantime, it's just Aragosta taking all of the other positioning available on mid. And so yeah, they get the demo man kill, but after that, right, they're all super low, they're on their own side, and that's just going to allow Juxta and Raven to come in and absolutely clean up house. Now Yuval, it's 100%. The statue out in a corner. Okay.
There's some tech, actually.
That means something to someone.
But
this is a massive advantage here. It's a crits up for Condog as well. He's actually had a decent amount of time to build it up. He will have this for some point of a post-super defense. As this is now Aragosta, they're going to get ready to just kind of send it in. Looks like from this far left side, as we are just going to come in. This Pyro is super, super low. So essentially going to take it down already, but they are spending so much time trying to shut this down. And so now the crits heavy can come out any second. Now it's 100%. Loopy has to get him to the point ASAP, and he does a lot of damage to the scouts. The crits beams come out, shutting down the soldier in the sky. This is now Aragosta. They find enough frags actually immediately, so there's a heavy and a Pyro having to do a lot of work, but Condog is so low, and Loopy not standing on the point.
Juxta there. Fantastic work, just sweeping up all these kills and these players that are distracted. And yet again, the defense is just torn apart by one player hiding under the bridge. Last time it was a soldier, this time it's a scout. And the crits, yes, it did good work. Yes, and honestly, phenomenal work by Voxy as well in the first place to stuff out that Uber and keep that sentry alive for as long as he did. But at the end of the day, they're just not blocking point well enough at the end. And Juxta, helping out with a couple of frags, gets the second round on the board. And we are on speedrun pace here on Metalworks. 2 rounds in 5 minutes. Phenomenal start.
Looking like a roll, but for the wrong team once again. Aragosta playing so well here. As now the bomb comes in and Mackie shut down early. Yuval in the sky. It's quite the airshot, but it's good enough for Governor work as the scout follows up as well. Just 2 players up for both sides now. Actually, Demo Scout versus Demo Scout as Voxy and Ratslayer have the superior positioning. Ratslayer just shooting in stickies through house, and Raven gets shut down as well. It's finally some respite in a mid-fight victory for Nunya, but they lose their medic. So it's even.
It's even, and it's 2 players up, so they can hold mid, and I don't think these spawners, like the timings on them aren't going to be too drastic. I don't think. Yes, it's forward spawns over for Nunya, but they're going to get to mid at roughly the same kind of time. A hold might be able to be established here. Raven, currently, are you checking Medigun or something here? I think he's checking Medigun over on Spy, checking to see if Condog's used the opportunity of even Ubers to come up with the crits, but in reality it's not really even, because Yuval dying earlier has meant that there's actually a fair bit of an advantage here built up. I don't think they're aware of it though. Tegan in court. They're going to have to retreat all the way out. Oh, Juxta going to get the force out onto Ratslayer. This is getting a little bit weird here in this trade. Both Ubers coming out, players getting chased all the way out into the house. GG Ratslayer really trying to lock these doors, not let the invading blue players get in. But Ratslayer and GG both going to fall. No players to stuff these doorways now. And the deluge sort of keeps walking forward. The blue wave walks on, and they're taking a good amount of space here onto second already. With players down, why not?
Yeah, that's crazy. What a crazy push from Aragosta there to make that work as well. And Nunya just nowhere near in position, losing so many players on that mid-fight as well, right? Coming forwards and then just perfect positioning there from KN, catching out Loopy. And that means that Condog had no one to Uber at all, now on last. It's about 20% advantage here for Yuval. Condog wants to desperately build up this Uber charge in time, but this push can come in any second now, and it's going to have to be on the dot for Aragosta.
They might want to go for it. They are playing very close to these doorways, but it doesn't seem to me as if they're aware about this like 20%. I think it might have just been because in the retreat, Condog wasn't able to build efficiently. So it is going to be both teams getting these Uber charges up. There is a gun built. There is adequate defense here to have some sort of long haul setup, but never mind. Actually, they decided to just trade this in from the far left side. This is definitely too slow for the Aragosta team, but maybe they can make this work regardless. Voxy running in, going to catch a frag onto Davey. Juxta going to fall too, and never mind. This trade into last has formed into a bit of a disaster. Voxy maybe going to find the frag onto Raven. No, nice arrow there from Yuval to keep the scout alive. But now, the push can come forward. Demo down, no traps to worry about on the second point, and there's actually a potential for a push out.
Yeah, they can sort of come out here, right? They're at least sort of making it work for now. It's even Uber still, though. So I'm not quite sure how much space they can take. There's one KN down still, so they're just going to push it through house. Getting a lot of damage onto Mackie as well. Has to back off as now a scout chasing in onto middle, but there's that Vox Tech going a little bit too far as Raven dealing so much damage to the entire combo. Look at Nunya's health bars. So low in through house. It is such a dangerous position for them to hold, but it looks so far to be okay. Condog now in a better position here into the lower side. We're kind of back onto a middle fight with both teams having Uber here. So Uber popped early from Yuval, and that is Condog running away, at least for now, as Ratslayer falling to a pipe from Davey. This Uber comes out from Condog, but doesn't really find that much. Instead, it's just Juxta in on the point force to juggle two enemy scouts. He's just gonna live, at least a little bit for now. Okay,
surely not much longer.
Oh my god, Condog falling as well. Mackie with a bomb in there, GG falling, Loopy as well. So Voxtech stuck in behind him. What can he do against KN, who's going for the Miracle Rockets? He's not quite hitting them. But Raven with the follow-up, and the splash is enough. This is big advantage for Aragosta once again.
That trade, in principle, that trade was absolutely fine for Condog and the rest of the Nunya team, but they dropped their demo at the very, very start of the trade. So at that point, it kind of spiraled out of control. They stayed in as long as they could, and they had a good stab at it, but with no demo, it was never going to be easy for the Nunya side. And 10 minutes gone in this game, and oh dear indeed, the trap. Oh lord.
That's an absolute disastrous start to a last hold for Nunya, as now 2 players down already, right? They can just come in for free. The crit streak is up, but what does it do? The Uber already in, and the Demo Man so very low. Actually, doesn't get taken down, but it doesn't really matter. No one's on the point, and Aragosta 3-0 up in just 11 minutes.
Maybe a bit unenlightened, but that was Dissad, right? They lose 2 players running this. I guess it's some kind of disrespect play. They're really trying to catch players there. Maybe catch some damage before the Uber, but like losing 2 players on an Uber Dissad like that from the overpeaking shutter is not exactly what you're looking to see for Nunya. And like less than 11 minutes gone, 3-0 down already. I said maybe, you know, map 2 they can turn things around, they can have a team talk, you know, sort out the problems. And for me, the problems have kind of just got worse.
Yeah, I don't know, like it feels really like Nunya now either in their heads or sort of checked out, at least mentally. Kiki, massive bomb in. It's a nice little follow-up there with a splash rocket from Amty. Beautifully takes down Yuval. And this should be a good start to the mid-fight, but everyone else, it's still 3 players falling for Nunya. But crucially, they still have Condog alive. And now the mission is keep him up and keep this Uber going. Vox Tech is bouncing backwards and forwards a little bit, but that's Mackie bombing in. Doesn't quite find the kill onto Condog, but Davey will with a final little Hail Mary bomb forwards. They're all going to pay for it with their lines, but Uber charge advantage eliminated from Nunya there.
Nice work, and it's a weird scenario for Condog and the 2 scouts because they're on the enemy side of the map there. They like have to come back at some point. They've got to stay reasonably close because they've got to be scared of the spawners. So they have to fight on mid, and I think that the 2 scouts, Loopy and Voxy, did as well as a job as they could. Obviously, Condog does die and the collapse comes in. That's some great damage from Davey at the end, but the scouts cleaning up everything else, that's as much as you can expect from them. And they've managed to get themselves into a situation where, yes, it's Dissad for Condog because of that late death, but it's not atrocious Dissad. Yes, it's pushable, but there is a potential to sort of use back into mid in a post fight here because it's what, 30% Dissad?
It's 30% advantage here for Yuval, and you can see already Aragosta looking to go in through middle here, as it's one soldier sitting up top, but Loopy ends up falling down before the fight even starts. And this is now for Nunya. This is going to have to back off. They have an Uber now to work with, but GG might actually get caught as well. So a lot of aggression coming in, and yeah, this is now 2 down. I think Aragosta, they should be looking to push this onto second anyway. They're in through alley already.
Condog trying to retreat out from underneath has been spotted, I believe. Ampty going to take a ton of damage and go down 2, and
oh no.
It just feels, oh, what? It's going to be a bit bad underneath Condog.
Oh.
And Ratslayer, last 2 up, oh dear.
Yeah, this is a disaster. They could just take that Uber fight and it's fine, but instead it's Juxta taking the trade with an enemy demo here on to Lobby, as now Condog forced to flash a little bit as well. Means the Uber's going to last a little bit longer. But Yuval, not the end of the world, however. But this is now KN coming up with a sniper. I don't know if you need that. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like, there's just the unwillingness to take that Uber trade on second means that they're just going to lose so many players for it, and now they're stuck back in Lobby. even Uber still, but they're just going for this fight.
They are going very aggressive here, and they're going to pay the price. But this is why we don't normally see teams taking these trades out into last. They are going to drop.
Jesus Christ! Oh!
Basically everyone. Nice little sniper at the end there from KN, but like, what is it to say? Like that push out, it's rash, it's aggressive, it's honestly reckless. Push out. There's a reason teams don't do this. Like you get crushed going through those choke points, and especially with no Ubers up for either team, it was kind of doomed before it started.
This feels like a team that just wants to go home. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, yeah,
like all of these players on this team are smart enough to know that that's a bad play, and the play that led up to that was also bad. So yeah. I think this might just be everything now is smelling like a completely mentally checked out Nunya.
Absolutely, it's the way even in the fight before that we just see players just getting caught on their own just for honestly no good reason. Trying to play make by themselves. It's 6 individuals playing in the same on the same side of the match. It's not a full coordinated team. This time there is a bit of a coordinated aggression here over onto Yuval, and they get a good amount of damage spread across some other players. But Kondog and the entire remainder of the combo for Nunya getting pretty much eviscerated there. Potential to maybe bomb back in here from Ampty. He's going to have to do something given that he's locked out behind, but everyone's so aware of it. It's going to be tough to get back through.
I'm surprised at that mid. Like, okay, it looks actually kind of fine for Nunya, but it's just KN with an absolute masterclass in the meantime in the mid just shuts down the enemy combo, and now Ampty, who is in behind, wants to get in.
No way he gets this.
It doesn't connect the rocket again.
That is so close. He gets the rocket fired as well. He dies like the milliseconds that he fires it, but he does get the rocket out. Just does not quite land. That would have been a crazy one, bombing into 3 players like that, but it's these kind of solo plays that we're seeing quite a lot from these players on Nunya, and it's just leaving Kondog out to dry once more. On May, the entire friend group just goes completely walkies, gets completely chipped off by the coordinated aggression there from Aragosta. Great work once more from these scouts. We can see the Juke's just going 20-3 this game. He's having a field day.
It is GV on a bit of a flank, and Ampty hits an headshot, Tading with a counter as well. Actually, I think it was KN who hit that. Never mind. But an ash shot for an ash shot, eye for an eye. Everything's okay. Massive advantage, though, for Yuval. We're going to have to see if they're willing to go for this play without the demo man. Davey is up already. And this is a world where they don't have to push immediately, right? They can still have this advantage by the time the demo man comes back and still make this push happen. But Loopy now seizing this opportunity for a miracle.
It worked last time when GG went for it. There's a chance.
Let's hope and a prayer here, not to just end it in 5-0 as the push now comes out. Loopy uncloaks, and unfortunately the RG is terrible, but he actually manages to find that kill onto Maki, and that means that now KN falling as well. GG is gonna fall, so now Ampty, Loopy all getting cleaned up, but Kondog does not have an Uber to work with. Instead, it is just all on to Ratslayer here with his scout friend of Voxy. It is just Kondog, it is just Voxy at Ratslayer falling. That is Aragosta 5-0 on map number 2, and Nunya falling as Aragosta take a massive, massive upset victory there.
That is, like I said before this game, I had Gullywash, I said 4-1 Nunya. I thought Nunya were really going to come in. I was impressed when I saw them play the Czechs last week. I thought it was, I thought they put up a really good showing. They actually beat the Czechs in like 4-2 on points, but this time around, it feels like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or something happened today. Like it was absolutely not the same team in any regard, and it's gonna be tough because going forward for the rest of the season, there's, I believe, still 4 spots in playoffs. But like, this is the kind of team that they're potentially fighting for playoff spots with come next week, the week after, given it's only a 5-week season, and they might be regretting playing like dropping these points, because this was honestly very, very comfortable for Aragosta, particularly that second map.
Yeah, Aragosta on map number 2, just absolutely destroying Nunya. I think, honestly, it must be some kind of mentally checked out, because they went for these aggressive plays that just had no business ever working, and Aragosta awake enough to punish this over-aggression from so many members. You're saying it earlier as well, right? This felt like 6 individuals on a team, like playing at the same time, but not necessarily playing together, right? And Aragosta just had that synergy, and Nunya just unable to compete. Like, there are logs that exist, and they are big for one side and small for the other, but I think that's kind of expected, right? Like,
yeah, not to shout at my guy, but Kondog was getting bullied that game.
Yeah.
He was getting absolutely destroyed, and again, not necessarily just on him, but like you can't, if your med's dying 11 times in 15 minutes, like the game's not going well in general. But it was a good effort. You know, Aragosta just turned up, and they've really stepped into gear coming this second half of the season. So yeah, I think, I was thoroughly impressed. And yeah, of course, KN does help out, right? Like having a
Mhm.
such a good soldier step in as a merc is great for them. But I think even literally you swap out KN for like the regular soldier roaster, I don't think this goes much different. I think, yeah, maybe the damage numbers get spread out a bit more differently, but they were just playing as that well-oiled of a unit. I think they were kind of unbeatable by this Nunya team.
Yeah, that sort of came into unwinnable territory. I think you mentioned Condog already, a night to forget for him. But what a turnaround for Davey. He did not have the best of games yesterday. Of course, he was playing against world champion, I guess, Pappy crowned him TI winner, Lucas, right? And that makes the game a bit difficult. He also got really hard focused by Chirachi. But this time around, we saw flashes of where Davey tends to get a bit overly aggressive, but Nunya just not capitalizing on the opportunities that I feel like honestly he was still giving them. But yeah, instead you kind of see the upside of that is when you play that aggressively as he sometimes does, or as he does quite regularly, you don't shut him down. He does so much work on the enemy side. And
Yeah,
good
I
turnaround.
was impressed. I've been noticing a bit of a Davey hater in a couple of previous games, but I think this game he really stepped up and was a big factor for them. But I guess on this note, this is a quick game.
Yep.
Two relatively fast. Well, the first map dragged on a bit towards the end, but the second map was in record time. The teams turned up as well. Like the game was going live at like 16 minutes past the hour as well. Like,
Yep.
this stream's at less than an hour, but I think we might be ready to
Wow.
wrap up.
Yep. Unless you have any final shout outs, Ben.
No final shout outs, I guess. Just, we'll see what happens the rest of this week. There's going to
Stay
be
tuned.
some more games, I guess, at some
If
point.
you are
maybe.
a Prem player in chat, you should tell JMax Chill when you're playing your game, so we can schedule a cast. Otherwise, your game will not be cast. Today was a miracle because we found out that this game was happening like an hour before it happened, and then we just happened to be here. But please, if you want your games to be cast and stuff like that, please just let us know. So much easier to schedule. But besides that, I don't think I have much more else to say.
No, we can sign off. Yeah, if we are casting games later this week, do stop by. But yeah, I've been Ben, we've had Wandom with me, Stu on production, and this has been another week 3 game here over on ETF2L season AFS 2025. Is that the name we're going for? I don't even know at this point, but we'll see you all later. Stay tuned.